Here's the new beginnings. Here's the new beginnings. The pull up so independent. We pull up so independent.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Sloan Blueprint. I am your co-host, Nicole Sloan, and today I am solo. Eric had to take a business trip this week, and actually business and a little bit of pleasure. He and Jaden were able to attend the College World Series. We're a baseball family and a sports family, so they're out having a little bit of fun and a little bit of business too. But we decided to recap a few of our favorite episodes. We discussed building generational wealth. That's something that all of us need to consider as we are building our families, building our lives, building our businesses. And how you do so through real estate. We talked about building generational wealth through real estate. We discussed how to build generational wealth via insurance with Willie Durham. And we also discussed cryptocurrency, how to build generational wealth through cryptocurrency with my brother, Brandon Lee. So I want you to stay tuned, relax, unwind. We call this the rewind, but I want you to relax, unwind, watch this episode, and I'll be back. Stay tuned. Building generational wealth gives you more options in life. So you have more freedom to think and to live the life that you want to without being restricted to someone else's time clock, right?
Correct.
Or and also it would afford you to maybe quit a job that you don't necessarily care for, or something, or even something that you're not necessarily passionate about.
Correct.
So we're going to talk about the why, but also ways to build generational wealth. And I think one of those ways, of course, being real estate. Investing in real estate is definitely one of those major ways to build wealth, and it's for the long term. So with that potential for steady cash flow, whether it be through renting properties, right, Eric?
Correct. Or purchasing properties.
Yeah, purchasing property.
So
I had a brain freeze.
Yeah, no worries. I got you covered.
Yeah, I know you got me.
But outside of purchasing properties, I think right now you can purchase opportunities as far as purchasing a duplex. So if you purchase a duplex, one way to build generational wealth, you're purchasing a duplex, you are staying in one, but you're renting out the other. So then you have the constant cash flow coming in from that. So that's one opportunity. We talk about, you mentioned renting, but even with your business, purchasing a building, some of the tax benefits that you're able to receive from those real estate purchases help towards your generational wealth, because now the tax benefits, or what they say, tax avoidance, that you're able to legal tax avoidance.
Legal.
Legal, we're not doing anything illegal.
We ain't attorneys either, but we're going to tell you, do it the legal way. Well, right.
Legal avoidance. So now you're able to utilize those funds that you're now avoiding to funnel other things, and as far as investments, but then that's a whole another subject
and then,
in itself.
Just to piggyback off that, the more properties you purchase one at a time, then of course you'll be surprised at how quickly your real estate portfolio can grow. So those are some very good points. Very good points.
And then I guess since we're dabbing into real estate, just to add into it, it's so many ways that from the investment is where you can put it out, where some people like to buy the properties, and when they rent it out, they do it through Section 8. So that's another way of cash flow coming in, and then you flow that down to your family for generations to come, because you own that property. And then land purchases, buying land.
Absolutely.
Land is huge right now, especially with the real estate market the way that it is in its current times. If you're able to get some land where a lot of the builders are building and building and building, guess what? Well, they need additional land to purchase.
Yeah, developing some your own, but that's the whole other topic, I guess.
One of my favorite movies every year at Christmas time is It's a Wonderful Life. And in that movie, he had got so down and destitute because he owed all this money to the bank because his uncle had lost the deposit, right? He wanted to commit suicide, and he pulled out his life insurance policy because he was going to end it all, but he wanted his family to have generational wealth through that life insurance policy. It's back in 1922. Life insurance can generate wealth for your family. Not only by a death benefit, but also has living benefits. You know, the people that write laws for life insurance are attorneys. They know how to work within the legal system. I heard Eric say on last week, we don't talk about tax avoidance, and we don't talk about not paying tax, we talk about tax avoidance. So, and you was very clear also, Nicole, in saying, in my opinion, these are the views of Willie Durham, not State Farm Insurance. This is from my viewpoint. But you can use a life insurance policy and fund it properly to be able to build wealth with a death benefit, but also with a living benefit. There's policies that you can overfund and put money into it. There's something called an infinite banking system where you can be your own banker, where people can get policies, structure it so that they put enough money into it that it builds cash value, that you don't have to go to a bank and apply for a loan and work on their structure on when you're going to pay it back, how much you're going to pay it back, what the interest rate. You can actually be your own banker. Put money into an account over a period of time. It builds cash value. And if you choose to buy a piece of equipment, you can go to the insurance company and get your own money. If you're having to pay for your daughter or son's wedding, you can get money. If you want to repair your kitchen or you want to it's structured through a life insurance policy. Generational wealth. Now, with some people, let's say, well, how much that cost? Well, it costs as much as you're willing to fund it. Sometimes, and I have to be careful on how I say this, because every conversation is not for everybody. So when people hear what other people are doing, sometimes the number scares them. You know, it's like when the spies went over and they went to look, and only Joshua and Caleb came back. They saw the fruits and how big they were, and they saw the giants, and the minority came back and said, we can do it, and the majority said, we can't. So sometimes people hear things and it sounds frightening for them. But don't let that discourage the others if you can. Infinite banking system is a good banking system. It's a good concept. It doesn't work for everybody, but it's a way to build generational wealth through life insurance.
Well, and another way to call it infinite banking, private banking. So same term or different names for it, but almost the same thing.
Exact same concept.
Yeah, exactly. So for those that are trying to figure out, like, well, what is he talking about as far as infinite banking? So if you, as he mentioned, if you want to put so much funds in and then you borrow it from yourself. So now ultimately you're paying yourself to accomplish different things. And then from a taxes standpoint, because you're taking a loan from yourself, you're not having to pay taxes on it.
It's not taxable.
So for people that are trying to figure out, that's just one, I guess, minute way of breaking it down just a tad bit. But of course, you need the expert
But again,
get into the weed
you're
details.
familiar with the concept. So I talk about a 3-stage approach. Is first becoming aware of something, and then, you know, once you're aware of it, you can be willing to learn more. And then if you want to do it, you have to be intentional about the execution of it. But first you become aware of it, because a lot of people are not aware of these concepts because they say, I've never heard of that before. So first you become aware of it. And then you want to learn more, be willing to learn more information about it, because it could work for somebody. If people are putting a lot of money into their personal savings account or CD or money market, and the banks are paying 0.00009% rate of return. But there's another concept that you can do the same thing with a life insurance policy. You're talking building generational wealth. For people that have the disposable income that they're able to do this works for them. And it's a win-win situation, building generational wealth through life insurance. And there's many concepts of doing it. And speaking of life insurance, I just want to take a brief moment to talk about the 2 types. There's 2 types of life insurance. Most people are very familiar with term life insurance. And there's nothing wrong or right about term life insurance. It is what it is. People buy term life insurance for 30 years to cover their mortgage, to cover their high earning periods of life, to cover their children while they're home. After 30 years, it's over. It's did what it's exactly designed to do. But then there's permanent life insurance. It has a place as well. There's different types of permanent life insurance. There's whole life insurance. There's universal life insurance. There is limited pay life insurance. So those are different permanent life insurance, and they can be structured to achieve a certain goal as well. So, but there's only 2 types, term and permanent. And people ask me which is the best. Depends on what you're trying to accomplish. That's what's the best.
If it's crypto, stocks, real estate, similar process, right? You really have to do your due diligence, make sure you understand kind of what it is, why it's important, how it accrues value, and some of the other things, make sure that you understand the team that's behind it. There's competent kind of leadership, there's good developers behind it, just normal, good, solid research and understanding what you're investing in. Otherwise, you're going to be passing down generational deficits versus generational wealth, because you're going to lose some money in this space.
Right.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to leave any deficit.
If at all possible. And
Exactly.
also, and as you were talking about that, it made me think, because when you're doing your research, and I mentioned that you are a part of different groups to discuss and to learn more about investing, as far as people knowing who to talk to. Are there crypto advisors, or if that's the right terminology? I told you I'm, as Eric said, a novice myself. So help people understand that. Who should they go to? Or what resources would you recommend otherwise?
So there are, I mentioned Coinbase Learn, right? That's good kind of educational content on kind of what is crypto. If you're looking at specific projects and trying to make a determination on whether it's a good kind of crypto asset, a good crypto project, there's a firm out called Delphi Digital, right? And they have a daily newsletter that you could subscribe to for free. And they publish a lot of good kind of deep research around different assets. From an advisory perspective, there's also Stansberry Research. I think they're fairly reputable. They have a service called Crypto Capital that you can kind of get involved with, and they provide deep research. They'll even kind of, the guy there, he'll tell you kind of what price you should pay for certain assets, and kind of he'll send sell alerts when he thinks that the price has gone too far and it's time to take some money off the table. So there are some reputable folks out there, but on the other side of that, some folks are just providing advice so they can kind of pump their own bags, right? They buy assets, tell you to buy it, you raise the price up, and then they sell on you. So you've got to really be careful out there as you're looking for advisors and people who are make sure that they have your best intention in mind and not their own.
That's good advice.
And I'm pretty sure you see that quite a bit, especially on Twitter and then some others, where you see people immediately, you need to go and buy this. And the time that we are right now, I think Elon Musk is working to buy Twitter. So probably by the time this airs, he's probably already purchased Twitter. So we will see as far as for information being put out there, because I know he was one of the main components of, is it Dogecoin? That he would push Dogecoin, and then everybody start going and buying, and then then those prices would shoot up. So then it could be a situation where he had the prices to go up, then he sells, utilize that cash to purchase some other assets or some other things to better utilize the funds.
And that's good that you said that, because some people aren't too clear on how crypto works as far as what they can do. They don't realize that you can use it to buy regular goods and services, right, Brandon? Is that?
Yeah. That is definitely a use case that's coming online, right? I'd say it's not growing as fast as some would have anticipated, because there are also some regulatory hurdles in front of us, right? So, kind of in traditional banking, traditional payments, the government wants to have the right level of oversight into what's happening, let's say. So crypto is a new kind of asset class. We recently saw the President Joe Biden go out and make an executive order for different regulatory agencies to start looking at crypto to figure out how to bring that into the regulatory framework in a sensible way. So I think that's somewhat slowing down adoption kind of in our day-to-day kind of payment services. But I think that's also a good opportunity for those to kind of get in front of what I view is probably going to be inevitable, right? I think crypto is here to stay. I think it's going to grow from less than a $2 trillion asset class to potentially hundreds of trillions of dollars. So we talk about generational wealth, getting in early, doing your due diligence, learning about this in the early stages, I think is extremely important, especially for our community.
I don't know about y'all, but I have gained so much just going back and looking at these episodes myself. I've gotten some more great tips on how to build the generational wealth through insurance or through cryptocurrency. You know, there's a lot of buzz about these topics right now: real estate, crypto, and insurance. So we would love to hear from you. If you have specific questions for us on either one of these topics, please feel free to email us at info@sloanblueprint.com. Also, if you have questions or even if you have topics that you would like us to discuss, again, email us, info@sloanblueprint.com. Stay tuned. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Please, we would love to hear from you. And don't forget, tell all your friends, your family, your pastor, your mom and them, tell everybody about the Sloan Blueprint. We are so elated that you continue to join us week after week. We appreciate your support. Also, don't forget Boss Times 2 merchandise. Boss Times 2. We are thesloans.com. That's how you can get your Boss Times 2 merchandise. Again, thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Sloan Blueprint.
Here's the new beginnings. Here's the new beginnings. The pull up so independent. We pull up so independent.